going again. So what we're doing is we are going through our video again and adding all the B-roll footage from our 12 days of streaming. And you can see if we look at the whole timeline, we have a ton of stuff. I mean, technically an hour worth of content, footage. I don't think any of this is going to make it. But what we're doing is going through. There's a ton of A-roll that doesn't have anything over it. So we're just going to be going through, and I'll be explaining at least a little bit of my thought process through the whole thing. So great. Let's keep going. So I think this last one was about code. I recently caught. Let's start with the simplest task, harvesting a berry. All you have to do is press A. So I counted the number of A buttons I needed and put it into code. Turns out it's so Control C. Boom. Let's take this. Woo. So what we're going to do is paste the attributes that made it zoom in on the game. Let's start with the simplest task, harvesting a, and then maybe what would this look like if we zoomed in? Harvested. Harvest, right? And then what if we did emphasis? I think we need to go to settings, composite mode, add, and then this one we do composite background. There should be a background, right? Maybe it's the other way. Maybe this is supposed to be foreground and this is supposed to be we shall see. We shall see. Okay, we'll leave that for now. And we'll just put a marker that later what I want to do is okay, cool. So yeah, as long as we make notes to fix things in the future, we can quickly like get all our ideas out, which is kind of nice. So let's keep going. And I think, did I have any notes for this? Let me zoom out real quick. No, so there is an actual intent. Harvesting a berry. All you have to do is press A. So I counted the number of A buttons I needed and put it into code. Turns out it's way easier to map these buttons when you use ratios instead of counting pixel values. Okay. Counting pixel values. That means that you don't have. Here's what I can do. Text. If I go into effects, I can pull up a title. Yeah, no. There's a single title that opens and closes. That's what I want. The nice thing is once I have it, I don't have to keep going through. I can just clone it. Yeah, these are bad. What if for now I just did? Let's just say like pro tip or something. Instead of counting pixel values. So we're just playing around with different text right now. Because what I want to do is have like pieces of helpful advice throughout the video. Something like this, although I don't really like that. And of course we'll make it look a lot better. But let's just see. There's a single, like, basically the text comes out, shrinks back in. Center reveal. This is it. Cool. Okay, cool. So let's bring this up, bring this down, and we'll just say what, something about pro tip. Okay, cool. Instead of counting, so we'll fix that later, but we're just gonna keep moving through and seeing what else needs to be done. This is where I realized a huge problem with screen copy. Not every button press gets recognized by the screen. This is a huge problem with something even as simple as farming berries. How do I know if I've pressed A enough times? How do I know if my character has taken enough steps? How do Turns out there's a game mechanic. Okay. Let me think. Because I need to put something here. but I don't know what it would be. This is where I realized a huge problem with screen copy. Not done. Turns out there's a game mechanic we can exploit to make this whole thing a lot easier. It turns out there's a game mechanic we can use to make this whole thing a lot easier. Turns out there's a game mechanic we can exploit to make this whole process a lot easier. Turns out there's a mechanic we can exploit to make this whole thing a lot easier. It's called an option select. By getting creative, so all three of these can be cut out. We'll just ripple delete that. By getting creative with the buttons that I press, I'm able to guarantee that I put the game into a specific state before I take the next action. Based on the layout of the map, where I start, it doesn't matter. For example, based on the layout of the map, where I start, it doesn't matter how many times I press up. As long as I've pressed it, I'll be in the same. So where I start is not needed. For example, based on the layout of the map, how many times I press up. As long as I've pressed it, I'll be in the same position. On the layout of the map, it doesn't matter how many times I press up. As long as I've pressed it, I'll be in the same position. I just need to make sure that I've pressed up enough to get me to guarantee that I'm in the right state. For example, with walking, based on the layout of the map, it doesn't matter how many times I. For example, where I start, it doesn't matter how many state. For example, with walking, based on the layout of the map, it doesn't matter how many times I press the up button. No matter how many times I press the up button, I will always be. For example, with walking, based on the layout of the map, with walking, no matter how many times I press the up button, I will always be in the same position. So all I need to do is press it enough times to guarantee that I'm in the right spot. It gets a little. No matter how many times I press the up button, I will always be in the same position. So all I need to do is press it enough times to guarantee that I'm in the right spot. It gets a little bit more tricky with pressing A. If I press it, not enough times, I'll be stuck in a text dialogue animation and I won't be able to move my character around. If I press it too many times, it'll put me into the next phase, planting a new berry, and I won't be able to move my character. Luckily, we're able to use the B button to create another option select. And I also just want to film in the highest quality I can create. I want to film these two explanations. So You know what's funny though is, shoot, I didn't set up the multicam. Okay. Okay, let's just keep going. By getting creative with the buttons that I press, I'm able to guarantee that I put the game into a specific state before I take the next action. For example, where I start, it doesn't matter how many times I press up. As long as I Man, that sucks. That really sucks. I just realized I didn't set up the multicam footage. Let me see if I can fix this.
What up, folks? Alex here, Mr. Alex Tech. Welcome to this 5-minute Friday video. And in this one, I'm going to show you a little trick which I've only recently discovered myself, and that's how to turn any timeline into a multicam. Now that's cool because it allows you to multicam basically anything. So if you've got a couple of files you want to sync up into multicam, you can also add some additional images to it. You can add some additional videos which usually wouldn't line up because they don't have the audio in there or whatever. You can create this timeline and then just turn it into a multicam. It's really, really cool. Now the other big advantage of this is if you've got the dreaded multiple clips. So if your camera has that FAT32 limit, so you can only record up to 4.5 gig, whatever it may be. So it splits all your clips into multiple clips. This is a really nice way of sorting that out so you can still create a multicam from that footage really quickly and easily. So let's open DaVinci Resolve and I'll show you how to do it. So here we are with DaVinci Resolve. We're on the edit tab. I'm going to show you the footage which I've got here. So first of all, I've got my A cam, which is recording throughout the entire thing, just me getting ready and then doing this intro and the outro. And then I've got my B camera, stop recording. How do you do this? So first of all, we're just going to grab our main piece of footage which is recording all the way through. We're just going to add that to the timeline in the same way we would anything else. And then I'm going to grab the first section of my B camera and we'll just put that on the timeline as well. And this is a really neat trick. You may already know this. If you just highlight the two clips on the timeline, right click, you can then go to auto align clips and then paste on a waveform. And providing they're both recording audio, it'll just line them up like so. So we've got A and a B cam on top of each other now, like so. So how do we deal with that camera split? Well, it's actually exactly the same. So I'm going to bring this one down here. I'm going to put this roughly at the end like so. I'm going to highlight those two again, main one and this little off at the end. Right click, auto align, based on waveform, and now just slot that in nicely. There's actually a bit of a gap here. If there wasn't a gap, you could literally just stack them on this other video track and then you'd be good to go. Then I've got my third audio, my external audio, which wasn't recording all the way through. So we're just going to bring this down to track number 3. I'm going to do the same thing, just auto align. So I'm going to give this one a click, holding the control key, right click, auto align, waveform, and then I'll put that in the right place. And then lastly, I've got this image which I want to jump back and forth to and from every now and again. So I'm going to put that onto a video track number 3, stretch that out so it's covering the entire duration of everything that we're doing. So there we go. We've set all this up now, so everything's aligned, really quick, really easy. We can do what we want. We can add any files. We can deal with multiple files really quickly and easily. So how do you then turn it into a multicam? So go to your media pool. Within the media pool, you should see your timeline. You notice the timeline has got this little icon. If you right click, you've got the option to convert the timeline to multicam clip. So I'm going to give
Yeah, that is not. What? Yeah, I kind of shot myself in the foot. Honestly, I just need a refilm. And that sucks. That really sucks. Dang it. So I'd basically have to scrap everything at this point. But it still might be worth it. That really sucks. Okay. The worst part is I think I'm going to do it. Okay. Shoot. Let's open up Obsidian real quick. Um, so YouTube, and I want to say Fireship style code. Let's see what other notes I have. I'll say I want to add a few things to the script, which is, what is it? Add to script. Let's see. Growing up, I didn't have the patience or skill. Okay. Fireship code. Gotcha. You know what? Let's do this. Cool thing is I can keep that. So let's fix that. For example, where I and we're going to make sure that we water this berry. Okay, now we're set. We have created the ultimate farmer. That's going to be later, but it would be really fun to film. Okay, let's keep going. What is this? Next, we can use the following sequence to reduce as much uncertainty as possible. Start by mashing A, create an option. Okay, good on that. 4 failure points. Okay, cool. I will work on this, and hopefully tomorrow I will have something to fix, to use. Okay, take care. Let me open this back up and then stop streaming.